Hello, everyone. It's Juni, just doing a quick astrological update, quick reading on Elon Musk. Evidently, he had another child. I can't remember if it's like his 12th, 13th, or 14th, or 15th child. I've kind of lost track at this point. But some of you have asked me if his astrology would show that he would have multiple children. And yes, astrology does. I could break this down a lot more, but this is just a way that you can tell if someone is very fertile, whether they be a man or a woman. You can go to the fifth house. The fifth house rules children. If there's a water sign ruling that fifth house, they have a higher chance of being, prone to being a little bit more fertile than some of the other signs as the water signs. So if Jupiter is in there, in a water sign in Scorpio, so that means, expansion and growth, multiple. Jupiter got everyone pregnant in Greek mythology. And then if you look at his AC rising sign, he has another water sign there, and that is one of the most fertile water signs is Cancer. Now, it doesn't mean if you're a Cancer that you're going to be fertile, because there's always other things that can happen in your chart. But if your rising sign is a water sign as well, and the fifth house is a water sign as well, you have a higher chance of being more fertile, or able to have more children. Elon is definitely here to be a father. I'd say especially with, having a Cancer rising. Cancer rising rules the fourth house, that rules home, family, motherhood. Also it can rule, family, your fatherhood, your family heritage, your family lineage. So it's interesting that that's on his rising sign. So, he will get the most fulfillment out of anything that he does in life. The main reason what the universe wants him to do is focus on being a father, a good father, having good boundaries with his children. Jupiter and Neptune conjunct in that fifth house. It's not always the best with children. I mean, there can be some boundaries that are crossed. I'm not going to go all deep into it. I just wanted to just let the person know that, yes, astrology can show that you're in a good position to have multiple children, especially with Jupiter in that fifth house. So Jupiter is about expansion and growth, so it's going to, expand on Neptune, the energy of Neptune. Now, Neptune in the fifth house can mean that you're very creative with your children. Maybe you play with your children like a child. You can use your imagination, and you would really push your children to be authentic and artistic, and you'd be interested in them being raising them to be very creative, right? But at the same time, there can be some boundaries that are crossed. There can be some negative with Jupiter conjunct Neptune like that. So he has, like I said, he has Cancer rising, means that his main purpose for why the universe put Elon here, you might think that it was to build rockets. You might think that it was to help Donald Trump in politics. But he will not be fulfilled, really, with much of that if he is not being a good father. Being a Cancer rising is that your main focus should be your children. And if you're taking time away from your family or your children or your families, I'm not really sure if he has... I can't remember if he has, I just know he has a lot of kids, okay? 14, I think, or 15. So, I mean, his main purpose is to be a good dad and to spend quality time with his family. He will become more fulfilled out of anything that he does, out of any of the rockets that he builds, or any of flying to Mars, or being in the political realm of things. He truly is meant to be... His life purpose is to be the best dad that he can possibly be. And that he will be fulfilled, truly. He will get his life true blessings through being a good father with that. Because, that's kind of your rising sign. Is kind of tells a lot about you. What you're supposed to be doing and how the world sees you. So the world is going to want him to be a It's the face that you present the world, and you want to be a good father, a caring father, a family man, someone who puts his kids first, right? And someone that is a human, well, more so caring and giving, and not taking or hurting other people is kind of why, that should be being fulfilled with a Cancer rising. So yeah, I just wanted to show you there's other things we can look at. We can look at Venus, making sure Venus isn't in retrograde, because if she's in retrograde, that can kind of mess with fertility a little bit, or a delay of fertility. If you have Capricorn or Virgo in the 5th house, that can be a delay in pregnancy. Or, if you have Saturn in the 5th house, that can be a delay in pregnancy. So, so having Jupiter or Venus in the 5th house, even Mars in the 5th house, because that's, a male bravado. That Mars is the phallus, okay? Mars is basically the penis on the astrology chart. He rules bravado, your confidence, your gusto, right? That's all Mars. So, your drive, but you have to make sure with Mars, sometimes if it's a female, you have to be careful with Mars, because there can be a miscarriage. So you have to kind of watch that, because Mars does rule our blood and our blood pressure and things like that. So, it depends on if there's like an opposition to Mars or something like that you want to look for. But yeah, he looks very good for having children, and that's that Jupiter in that 5th house, and then having the rising signs. You can also look at the 9th house as well and see if there's anything opposed that, or anything anything in the 9th house can also indicate fatherhood as well. So so I just wanted to tell you what I saw. He's definitely here to be a father, definitely very fertile. So that's how you can tell in astrology. The 5th house rules children. Okay, blessings to you all. Bye-bye now.